This is Dave at TitleRecovery.com and the website CarTitles.com. Are you looking for a lost car title? Did you lose your car title? Well, in that case, we got to start by finding out what's the process of getting it back. First thing is, who actually lost the title? Was it a title in your name that you lost? Is it a prior owner who had the title in their name and lost it before they sold it to you? Did you lose a title that was from a prior owner? Is it somebody who is unknown? 2 or 3 owners ago lost a title and the car's been transferred. So the circumstances are going to determine how to recover that lost car title. Maybe something as simple as going to the DMV and saying, I lost my title, I need another one. Now that may not work in every case. Start by establishing the transfers. Is this a car that has a history of clear ownership that is known? You owned it and somebody owned it before you. You know the owner before that, and each person can be identified who owned the car prior to that. Establish that transfer first. If this is a barn vehicle, abandoned vehicle, something that we don't know who the last owner is, that's not really a lost car title. That's more like a ownership history question, an ownership transfer question. A title is the result of proof of those transfers, not just by request. You can't just request a title. This document for a vehicle, this title, is a legal document. It's something which says, look, the state of whatever, California, Florida, Georgia, Ohio, issues this title and says, we're saying that the ownership is known on this vehicle and that you, the person listed on the front, are the legal owner of that car. States don't do that lightly. They don't just do it on a whim saying, hey, I want a title for the car. They do it based on a known history and known ownership and the legal criteria for proving that ownership in that state. So you have to start by establishing that ownership transfer, prove those transfers, not just requesting a title from a state or anybody else. Ownership of your vehicle is at risk every second you don't have a clear title in your name, in your hands. If you have a title in your name, but it's not in your hands, that ownership might be at risk. If you don't have the title in your hands or in your name, your ownership is at risk every second that happens. Even if you have the title signed over to you, but somebody else's name is on the front, they just signed the back, your ownership might be at risk. In theory, that person can go out, request a duplicate in their name, sign it over to somebody else, and come get the car from your driveway. So having that title in your name, in your hands, knowing where it is, and keeping it secured. You don't want to leave a title laying around. Don't leave it in your glove compartment. Don't just leave it on the dining room table. Keep that thing secured. It's like money. This makes the value of the car. That car has no value to you unless that title is secured in your name. So a lost car title isn't an remarkable event. You want to know where it is, check on it a couple times a year, make sure you know the status of that title. If you have a vehicle without a title, start out by finding out where was it last, what name was it in, was it lost by you or somebody else, and make sure that that process is done legally so that nobody else later can come forward and say, hey, that was my car. Abandoned vehicle processes, mechanics lien processes, bonded title processes, each one of those has legal aspects to it that you don't want to mess around with, because a bonded title has a stamp on it. That bond means somebody else could come and take that vehicle. A mechanics lien has to be done a certain way, otherwise that title is invalid. Even though you have a title in your name, if it was obtained by a mechanics lien process, you might be at risk of having that title snatched back. Abandoned vehicles don't just become the property of where they were left. Somebody leaves a property, even if it's on your, or a car, even on your property or in your barn, it does not automatically become yours if it's left there a certain period of time. There's certain legal processes they have to go through. So be cognizant of that. Make sure that when you're getting a title for your vehicle, it's done the right way, because your secure ownership of that vehicle is at risk. You could put a lot of money into it. You could pay insurance on it for 5 years. You could put a new motor in it. You could refurbish the car, restore the car, and then later have somebody else say, hey, that was my car. So make sure the process, the way you get your title, is legal. Make sure it's a legitimate state DMV issued title. It's not just a bill of sale. It's not just some receipt. You have a title in your name. That way you can enjoy your car and have fun with it, and go to car shows, go do burnouts with it, go to the drag races, whatever you want to do, but you won't have to worry about the ownership of the car. All you got to do is worry about pressing on the gas and it's going where you want it to go.